just once again possible. And then Saturday, partial sunshine is possible at times, and temperatures hold steady in the teens. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now it's 34.
Now, the only local radio talk to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Coming to you from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. Nice to have you with us. Program brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. 989-295-7713 puts Linda to work for you. You can visit Pinnacle Realty inside the point at M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you'll also find Cafe 476 with its delicious soups, foods, and beverages. Here is the outline for the morning. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to talk to Representative David Martin, Republican in Genesee County. He's going to talk about the truck blockade and plant closures, how it's affecting us economically, and a few other things that have to do with the state. At 11 o'clock, Chris Harrington, the health officer for Saginaw County, will join us. They have a new app coming out that we're going to tell you about. For this hour, though, it's open phones. Whatever you'd like to chat about, you give us a call at 989-752-6111. 989-752-6111. And we'll be happy to have a conversation with you about whatever's on your mind. Love to chat with you. I want to touch on this just for a second because something to watch. Going on in New York City right now, the former governor of Alaska, former vice presidential nominee Sarah Palin, is embroiled with a lawsuit against the New York Times. And literally, as the headlines say in the various publications writing about this could be her legacy because it could change the way public figures are treated by journalists. In traditional settings, journalists are protected on how they write about and how they report about public figures, particularly politicians. The standard for libel or for slander is much higher. They can literally get away with almost anything if they're talking about a public figure. Sarah Palin took exception to that back, I think, in 2017. There was an editorial in the New York Times linking her to some things which turns out she was not linked to in any way, shape, or form. And later, the New York Times, it was in an editorial that they brought this up. And later on, they corrected the editorial because they did realize they were wrong. Well, she is suing them for damage to her reputation, what have you, for libel. And do you understand the difference between libel and slander? We'll give you a quick education here. Liable is the printed word. If I print something about you and publish it, that's liable if it's not correct. If I say it with the spoken word, that's slander. They both have the same impact. I've disparaged your reputation somehow, either by the printed word liable or the spoken word slander. Those are very general, loose definitions. So she is suing the New York Times, and it is in court. She took the stand this week. And it's now going to be up to a jury to decide and a judge to decide whether or not the New York Times can be held liable for what they said. And the reason it's been attributed to what may be her legacy is that it could change the way journalists treat public figures in the future. Because if that protection is stripped away, they'll have to be a lot more careful about what they say and what they write about public figures. It's expected that, let's say, the Times loses, for example, or that Palin loses. They might then keep it going up the chain until it reaches the Supreme Court. Either way, though, this could be the Palin legacy. Anyhow, something to watch. Don't know how long it's going to take for a decision, but it's been interesting to watch. There was an article today, and what really caught my attention was where the article was. The article was on CNN's website, on CNN. And here is the headline from CNN. A grim portrait of Biden's unhappy America. Now, if I had seen that on Fox, for example, I'd go, yeah, okay, I can anticipate that. I expect that. But seeing it on CNN as a news story, as an analysis by, let's see who wrote this, Stephen Collinson of CNN. And it goes to talk about why Americans are unhappy. One of the first things mentioned, of course, is inflation. And he does, he mentions other things too. But it's just interesting that the headline from CNN goes that far. And one of the things he talks about here is a terrible poll for Biden. Biden is getting little credit for whatever good there is in the economy. And CNN's latest polling is simply brutal for the president. Just 41% of those asked approve the way Biden is handling his job. His approval rating on the economy has dropped to 37%, down 8 points since December. Only 45% approve of his handling of the pandemic that he was elected to end. And 56% had nothing positive to say. That's a CNN poll. So it just caught my eye, that this president is having that much trouble with the American people. So anyway, lines open for you, whatever you want to chat about, by all means. I want to chat about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group in Bay City, right there on North Euclid Avenue, where all the dealers are lined up side by side. Because I want to talk not about new cars, although we can mention them, but I want to talk about previously owned vehicles, because they're taking in a lot of trades every time they sell a new vehicle. They inspect them and they put them out on their lot. They also scour the market for additional used cars meeting their exacting standards. And you have the advantage of seeing all these cars in one place. The Thalen Auto Group, your one-stop shop for fully inspected used vehicles. Hundreds of them to choose from on Euclid Avenue in Bay City. They are right there, side by side. You don't have to travel all over town. You can stop in one place and see all kinds of pre-owned vehicles. And you can shop certified pre-owned vehicles too, from Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Don't spend days going from dealership to dealership looking for a good deal or the right automobile. Stop at the Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City and spend the afternoon shopping their lot, or you can go online to thinkthalen.com and look at their inventory. And don't forget, the Thalen family's been serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Stop in, visit them today. More ahead, it's the Art Lewis Show for this Friday morning.
Part of a retirement plan.
Income is king because we all need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
As investors brace for the impact of higher interest rates, MarketWatch says energy is the best performing stock market sector this year. Many market watchers believe oil prices could remain at current high levels for years because of strong economic growth and high inflation. France's Renault and U.S. carmaker Rivian are backing a moratorium. Some companies hold exploration licenses and are hoping to sell metals to automakers. Shoppers are paying more for Rubbermaid, Sharpie, and other products made by Newell Brands, but the company's profit and revenue were stronger than expected in the recent quarter. Newell is providing a mixed outlook for the current quarter, but the stock is higher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Well, I started my own restaurant because I love to cook, but that also means a lot of greasy pots and pans. And we can't waste time with endless sink changeovers. So we upgraded to Dawn Professional Pot and Pan.
Dawn Professional cleans 58% more pots and pans per sink than the leading competitor.
So fewer changeovers and more time doing what we love.
Dawn Professional. It's clean. Upgraded. From P&G Professional.
You have the chance to win a $500 gas card in the Forward Free Fuel February contest. Visit any participating Forward location to register your name on Friday, February 25th during a broadcast from the M84 Forward location. One winning name will be drawn. It's a $500 gas card with Forward Free Fuel February and WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. And Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art. Since you were talking about the president, I thought I'd jump in on that.
Yeah. Why did I know that?
I don't know if you happen to catch his interview with Ken there.
Just a piece of it. I caught a little bit.
Oh, so you probably heard then the part that I'm going to talk about when Lester Holt asked him, what are you going to do to rescue people who get trapped in Ukraine? The president said nothing, absolutely nothing, nothing. How could we even find them?
Yeah.
What does that tell the world, Art?
Yeah. Listen, I heard that and I went, ooh, wait a minute here, shades of Afghanistan. And I just
well, and then look at the comparison. When he came on Inauguration Day, he surrounded himself with 21,000 service members, his own private security team, the CIA, FBI, CIA, and the Capitol Police. But will he do anything for Americans around the world? He said, no, absolutely not. So you told me I'm not changing nobody's mind. I don't want to change nobody's mind, Art, but these Democrats who voted for him, pay attention to what's going on.
I did
because of your hatred.
I have to chuckle at that because I did get an email from someone after we talked and said his mind was changed. Now, it wasn't necessarily just by you, but he says over time and listening, he's come to a realization. So I'll yield that you might have been influencing someone a little bit. So there.
Well, it's just I just want to give people the other side of it.
No, I understand that. I understand that, Scott. I understand that, Scott. By him surrounding himself, though, with all those people at inauguration, that's the government surrounding him as they would any president. I'm not going to lay that one on him. He's surrounded by all those security people because that's what they do.
Well, that's what they do, but we didn't have 21,000 people there for Barack Obama.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well,
no.
We didn't.
You don't know
we
that.
didn't have it like that.
You don't know that because you can't tell how many people there are on security detail. And I speak from experience because my father was a Treasury agent, and this goes back quite a long time ago. But when the presidents used to come to New York City, he ended up on a rooftop with a gun. And there were many, many like him. So there are many, many people involved in securing the president of the United States. And I'm not going to lay that one on him. He didn't go out and say, hey, I need 21,000 people around me. Let's be realistic. Keep it realistic.
But it's just curious, though, that January 6th, we couldn't get any security there. But when he's inaugurated, we have
that's two different things, though. And I understand what you're saying. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. I'm just pointing out that security comes in thousands. And it's not unusual.
Yes, it does.
Not unusual.
And well, with that, and one more, if there's any of those truckers listening, he went and stocked up on my groceries. I can last a good few months.
All right, Scott. Good enough. Thanks.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye.
And let's see. We're going to talk to Larry in Frankenmuth. Larry, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you.
Good. Two things real quick on the president. You were talking about journalists and reporters. I'm on the other side of the aisle from President Biden, but I'd like to see, and it'll never happen because the reporter who chose to do it would never be welcomed back in the White House. But I honestly, all joking aside, do you think if a reporter stood up in one of those presses and asked the president the day, the date, and the year, do you think he could answer it?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I have serious doubt.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
Yeah. Well, I
I
know what you're talking about, the cognitive abilities of the president and all of that.
or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof, yeah. It's interesting. There have been some members of Congress on the Republican side that have asked him to take a cognitive test. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen.
No, there's so many people when you try to have a conversation with them, they won't admit that there's any decline. I mean, surely you can see some cognitive decline in this man, but that's, I guess, neither here nor there. There's nothing Larry or Art going to be able to do about it.
Got that right.
Can I ask you one quick thing about the Spirit?
Yeah.
Love the Spirit. Go to all the games. Happy belated birthday to you, by the way. I saw you on the big screen.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish, and I don't think it'll happen soon. I think we need to get considerably better on the ice so we can get more fans. Just a dream of mine. I would give anything to get a solid 2,500 to 3,500 in there each and every night. But we need to get considerably better.
Actually, this year that's been happening. We've had very good crowds this year.
Well, come on, Art.
No.
I'm at every game.
Yeah.
The announced attendance, and what's sitting in that building, there is a stark difference. Surely you can agree to that.
Well, that's been that way from the beginning, and that's that way with every team.
Exactly.
And you know the reason for that. You know the reason for that?
Corporate sales, I would imagine.
Well, season tickets. They announced the amount of sale, not the amount of people through the gate. So you can guess that about 500 don't show. But we've had some pretty good crowds this year.
We have on occasion, yes.
Well, most occasions.
Nowhere near $3,000 or 2,500 a night.
Don't kid yourself. But anyway.
Agree to disagree on that.
All right.
The last thing I was going to say, I listened, and I know there's time constraints, but I wish you could delay your talk with the coach after the game. As soon as that final buzzer sounds, I could sprint to my vehicle and I would miss your interview with Lazarus.
Yeah, you probably would. It's the format is after the game is over and Joey and Dennis finish, there's a 2-minute commercial break, and then it's to me. And by then the coach comes out and sits next to me, so I don't have a choice. That's the way it goes.
No, I understand that. I just think in the future, once we get better, I mean, I always thought, again, we would have to have better crowds. I always thought a half hour, an hour wouldn't do. A half hour call-in show after the games with the coach or a player or this or that. But that's something in the future when we get a lot better and we have more fans.
Yeah, and there are other considerations too. Contracts with the programs that are preempted. It's complicated. But I understand what you're saying. I'd like to see a return. I'd like to see a return to the coaches show that we used to do out and about once a month. But that's not going to happen right now either. So, there's a lot going on because of COVID and everything else. It's just been a screwy couple of years. Hey, listen, Larry, got to run. Got to run, buddy. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, lines are open for you. You can give us a call when we come back. More good conversation here on the Art Lewis Show.
Did you know we lose up to 20% of our home's heat through windows and doors? Let the experts at Westside Decorating show you how to keep your home cozy with insulating sheets and draperies. This is Sonia. Call us today at 989-793-6182 We'll bring samples to you or visit our showroom and see our new flooring and carpeting options. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
Get huge savings with fuel rewards every time you fill up at one of your 26 area Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every single fill up and earn even more when you make purchases in store. You can regularly save 10, 20, even 30 cents off a gallon, which means less money goes into your tank and more stays into your wallet. Visit fuelrewards.com to sign up and start saving today. That's Fuel Rewards at your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pub, go forward.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework. Site folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 885-7526.
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back.
Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance so I only pay for what I need. I'm getting on in years now, but heavens to Betsy, there are some things an old fella like me just never forgets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey team, it's a full house. We got to pick up the pace.
At Hank's Restaurant, the line goes around the block.
Is this for 12? Okay, I need the truffle oil drizzle.
What he needs is another line cook.
Oh man, are the quail breasts still in the sous vide? Dave, can you keep an eye on that, please?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality on Indeed. Match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but when matched with an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit loandepot.com. At Loan Depot, home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Once again, the amusing stories are coming out, having jokes about this for a number of Olympiads now. The official message from Beijing is for athletes to maintain social distance, at least 2 meters from fellow competitors. Avoid physical interactions, such as fives and hugs. And by the way, here's some free condoms for you.
Now that's a mixed message.
With masks?
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Fauci, what would you do with that?
Yeah, right.
It mentions the last Olympic Games last year in Tokyo. 150,000 condoms were given out, but because of social restrictions at that time, athletes were told to take them home. Hey, I didn't get a medal. I got a condom.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Broadcasting from the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we return here on the Art Lewis Show, and let's see where he is today. Mark today is in Glenny. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, I was curious and wanted to get your thoughts. I signed up to get 4 test kits delivered to my home, even though we have 5 people at the house, and we're going to fight over that. But the government is also putting out there potential crack pipes are going to be distributed to individuals. Which one do you think will get delivered first? Because I've yet to see my test for COVID.
Yeah, I haven't either. And I registered on the first day, and we haven't got them yet either. Exactly. We were just talking about that. The crack pipe thing is what stupidity. I mean, it's amazing. And now they're trying to back away from it. I think the head of the agency responsible for it said, we're sending money to treatment centers, and they're going to do the distribution of the stuff. Any way you look at it, if our tax dollars are going to buy crack pipes, there's something wrong.
I agree.
Something wrong.
Hey, so on electric vehicles, there's a big push to convert over to electric vehicles, and the government's saying that we have to convert, or they're going to convert by 2030, 2035, or something like that. If electric vehicles are going to be some great brand, their post office just half of their fleet electric and the other half gas. If it's so great and grand, EV, going to EV, why wouldn't that be a test pilot for all the vehicles out there to see if there are really problems or not, and put them all on EVs? Because people are going to have to do that, and not anything.
Post office said there was a cost factor involved right now. Who knows what will happen 20 years from now? I mean, first of all, realistically, I don't see fossil fuel going away anytime in the near future. Too many things depend on fossil fuel, and as long as there's fossil fuel being produced, there will still be gas supplies available for gasoline cars. And the prediction is that I think by 2030 or 35 or something like that, about 50% of the cars on the road will be electric. As more charging stations come about and as battery ranges extend, they become more practical. And General Motors has even announced that they will have an Equinox version that'll be somewhere in the 20,000s range rather than the expensive things we see today. So I think the day is going to come when the price will be competitive with vehicles today, and more people will buy electrics because they are fun to drive. I'll give them that.
Yeah. The thing that I had is the career politicians that are in office walking away with millions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi, $125 million, if not more.
Yeah.
Anthony Fauci, $10 million more. Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading. Do you think they're going to look into those two individuals?
No.
Career politicians as to far how they obtain that money?
Nope. What they are doing, well, in Pelosi's case, a lot of it's her husband too. But in terms of insider trading, for example, there is legislation now moving through Congress which will prevent our representatives and senators from buying and selling stock. Pelosi, in the beginning, Pelosi was against it. Now she's changed her mind. I think public pressure finally got to her.
Elizabeth Warner's pushing that issue, I think, right?
Yeah, I think she is. And I'll give her credit for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
No problem. All right.
All righty, sir. Have a great day.
Hey, you too, Mark. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, this whole notion of insider trading, apparently there were some senators that got heads up on pandemic, maybe. But anyway, they were given information, and at the beginning of the pandemic, I believe, and then they went out and sold all their stock and made a pretty good penny before the market crashed. So it's been a long time coming where there should be restrictions. There have been certain financial restrictions on legislators, but this would end the practice of selling stock, buying and selling stock while they're in office, period. Now, does that apply to their relatives, i.e. their husbands or their wives or their children or their aunts, uncles, grandparents? I don't know. But at least for the individuals who we elect, they won't be able to benefit from insider trading, if you will. All right. 989-752-6111 puts you in touch with us here on the Art Lewis Show for this Friday morning. The week is gone already. Wow. Amazing. Super Bowl weekend. Oh, yeah. Have you given much thought to it? First of all, will you watch? And secondly, if you watch, do you watch for the game or the commercials? And how much of the hype are you involved in? That's already begun. It's going to be interesting to see these two teams. I think they're fairly evenly matched. I have predicted that the Rams will win by a field goal. I'm no expert. I'm just making a sentimental pick because I want to see Matthew Stafford get a ring. Beyond that, my knowledge is no better than anyone else's. All right, let's take a break, and then we will be back with more. And Chandler, one of our guys at the station, says he watches for the commercials. You're not alone, Chandler.
Planning your home improvement projects for 2022? Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been helping their Great Lakes Bay region clients for 64 years with large projects, like remodeling a kitchen or bathroom, replacing a furnace or boiler, and installing central air. Maybe your project is smaller, like a water heater or sump pump replacement, updating a kitchen faucet and garbage disposal. No project is too big or too small. Start by visiting the showroom where you will find products to fit your budget, design idea, and mechanical need.
Reamer is proud to carry American-made products like Bradford white water heaters, American Standard heating and cooling equipment, Birch custom cabinets, and Cambria quartz. When you work with Reamer, you'll get expert knowledge and advice. Installation is completed by state licensed installers. So start your new year home improvement project with a visit to Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Call 928738 or visit reamerplumbing.com.
Superior Insurance Group, formerly Northway Plum Insurance and Henris Wealth Solutions, bring you to the first annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 19th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. You will enjoy cocktails, followed by a plated meal, dancing, and a show. Cash bar and dinner are from 5 until 7 p.m., followed by the big show from 7 until 10 p.m. During the big show, you will be transported back in time by a 17-piece orchestra and the Rat Pack. The event will be held at the Doubletree by Hilton, 1 Winona Park Place, Bay City, 48708. Tickets can be purchased by going online to theratpackgala.live. Individual tickets are $200 or $2,000 for a table of 10. The proceeds from the show will go to the Bay City Noon Rotary Charitable Foundation that focuses on youth and education in Bay County. Join us Saturday, February 19th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, visit theratpackgala.live for your tickets today.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Find more jobs on thenewmonster.com. Jobs for night owls, early risers. Jobs for people who do their best thinking in the morning, or the evening, or the shower, or with TV cameras pointed in their face. Jobs for people who like the way they look in scrubs, or in cowboy hats, or tool belts. Even jobs for people who think they have a voice for radio. With more advice and jobs for career switchers, new grads, and digital nomads. And the right fit. Go to thenewmonster.com or download our app today.
Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety. And we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
You have the chance to win $1,000 in the Cash for Couples contest. You can enter and get official rules online at WSGW.com. Scroll down the homepage and click on the contest box.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and Paul's in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, thanks.
In my church newspaper this week, I know earlier in the week you, Pat, and I were talking about free speech. Well, apparently at a Lansing, Michigan high school just recently, school authorities have taken the position that even if a student is speaking in private, either in person or by text, if that conversation can be heard or seen by an eavesdropper who might be offended, that student can be suspended from school. And a student at that school was suspended for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the student has religious and political views expressed on any social media platform, if it's on a school campus, that's what the school says. So what happened was there's a federal lawsuit already filed by the Great Lakes Justice Center in Lansing, Michigan, on behalf of the students' parents. And I want to know, what do you think about this? And have you ever heard about this?
Not this particular one, but others like it. There have been rulings in the past about schools being able to control what happens on their campuses. I think they probably went too far in this one, and I would hope that that's what the courts rule.
I agree with you 100% on that.
But you never know. You never know, because somehow schools are looked at very differently than the rest of what happens in the world. But
Right.
I think they've gone too far. I mean, if they want to prevent some youngster from standing in the middle of the hallway and shouting out his or her views on some subject, that's one set of circumstances. But texting on a phone
Go
because you're
ahead.
standing in a hallway. Well, first of all, the other side of that coin is, why are kids texting in school? They shouldn't be. In my view, you go to school to learn.
They could be on recess too. They could be on recess.
I don't
and
care
that's why
what they're on.
texting.
I don't think school is the for non-educational type work. Students have enough distractions, and now that we've handed them all smartphones, somehow they feel they have to be on them 24 hours a day. And it's a separate subject, very separate from what you're talking about. I don't think students should be, as a matter of fact, because I know I'll get pushback on this, I don't even think they should have smartphones with them in schools. I think they get them when they get out of school, and they don't bring them into school. But that's me. That's me. And I understand that's a losing cause for me, because this high-tech world we live in today, it's all about technology and what they can find out on technology. And they're given computers to use in the classrooms. It's high-tech. And I understand that.
Right.
But I've always felt that because of the misuse, something should be done. But hey, here I am.
Can I give you one extra addendum to this here? Since this is a federal lawsuit, Attorney General Merrick Garland has decided he's going to get involved in this. But one thing Attorney General Garland has not reported to anybody, particularly about critical race theory, he has a family financial conflict of interest because his son-in-law has a lucrative business promoting some of these objectionable indoctrination materials, because he is a supplier.
Yeah, separate
to the
issue.
Schools
Separate
for this
issue.
Materials.
Separate issue, though.
Right.
Separate issue,
Right.
because the free speech case is federal, has to be federal. It's federal
Right.
constitution we're talking about.
Right.
So Garland is the chief legal officer.
Right. Well, he should recuse himself from this because of his son.
No, why? This is not critical race. This is not critical race theory. This is different. This is
Well-
a free speech case for a young man. Has nothing to
Right.
do with
Well,
critical
some of
race
the-
theory.
Some of the things the young man was texting on his phone were controversial issues, such as critical race theory.
You
and
know
other
that?
issues
Have you
as
seen
that.
what he texted?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so we don't know.
We,
You're speculating.
We don't know right now.
You're
no.
speculating.
Right.
So we'll leave it there.
All right.
All right, Paul. Have a good one.
Okay.
Take care.
Okie doke.
Bye-bye now.
Okay.
All right. That'll do it for calls, because we're running short on time. Coming up next hour, going to talk to Representative David Martin. He is a Genesee County Republican representative, but he serves on the Workforce Trades and Talent Committee and the Committee of Tourism and Commerce and the Energy Committee. And we're going to talk a little bit about the impact of this truckers blockade now that the Ambassador Bridge is shut down for all practical purposes. It's impacting auto plants both here and in Canada. And we'll have a conversation with him about that coming up in the next hour. Meantime, we'll take our break and then come back and finish up this hour.
What you can't get anywhere else, get it at the Maytag store.
Loads of savings is waiting for you. The Maytag store is having a laundry sale now through Saturday.
The Maytag store has washers and dryers in stock and ready to sell. Rebates are available on laundry appliances from Amana and Whirlpool. Unbelievably low prices after rebate that you won't find anywhere else. Get an Amana laundry pair as low as $849 and a Maytag washer $1,079. Find these great deals in Saginaw on Tittabawassee Road or in Frankenmuth on Main Street. Service doesn't stop after the sale. The Maytag store could deliver and install your new appliances, and they have their own in-house parts and service team. Visit your locally owned Maytag store on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw or on Main Street in Frankenmuth and the outlet on Gratiot Road in Shields. Stop by and experience the Maytag store difference today.
What you can't get anywhere else. The Maytag Store.
Spirit Nation with this week's Spirit in 60. I'm Joey Batano. Turned to the win column on Sunday afternoon with a huge 5-1 victory over the Erie Otters. Coming in, Newhart across to Lucas. He scored! Lucas with one hand on his stick, putting it past the right pad of Nichols to put Saginaw back into a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. Spirit continue their home schedule on Wednesday nights at the Dow Event Center. Puck drop is set for 7:05. The Spirit hit the road Thursday to take on division rival Windsor. That game on WSGW at 7:15. The Spirit wrap up the week with Talk Today, Hope for Tomorrow, and our mental health awareness game on Saturday night against the Guelph Storm. Puck drop is set for 7:05. For tickets and more information, log on to SaginawSpirit.com or visit us at our new store at 6321 State Street in Saginaw Township. For this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano.
RocketGrabPlus.com. What would you say if we could give you a $20 meal for only $10? Well, you're in luck because that is exactly what we are doing. A $20 certificate for only $10 to Sullivan's Food and Spirits. It's located on Gratiot in Saginaw, and you can snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
We do not have the reassurances that we need to restart school.
They are safe. We've got the data to demonstrate that.
News coverage.
A lot of people are going to get sick. The new COVID variant, a lot of additional cases out there.
Stay home if they're sick.
News, talk.
We see as Russia threatening
against Ukraine to punish Russia.
News coverage around the clock.
Bob Saget, a generation's TV dad. Oh my goodness.
On WSGW.
All right. By the way, I understand the Sullivan's Rocket Grab deal. I understand it's sold out. So sorry if you missed it. News coming up at the top of the hour. Then we'll be back with Representative David Martin to talk about the truckers' blockade. All of that is ahead.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by...
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An hours-long police standoff is over at a home in Phoenix after 5 officers were shot trying to retrieve a baby who had been placed outside a home. One woman is in critical condition. All of the officers reported in stable condition. WPHO TV's Gibby Para.
When we were out here, we saw multiple officers being pulled from the scene and into safety and then taken to local hospitals. When they were out here, I have to tell you, at one point, as we were out here during one of the gun battles, we could actually hear some of those bullets flying over our head.
A word on the condition of the shooter. President Biden has just signed an executive order that could unlock billions of dollars from Afghan central bank funds here in the U.S. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is at the White House.
$3.5 billion will go towards humanitarian aid and other basic needs of Afghans. The other $3.5 billion is going to be set aside for ongoing legal pursuits by the families of victims of the September who years ago got a court case favored in their decision that essentially made Al-Qaeda and elements of Afghan society liable for what happened in those attacks.
Secretary of State Blinken is warning Russia could invade during the Beijing Olympics, and Americans still inside Ukraine should leave immediately.
We're in a window when an invasion could begin at any time.
President Biden takes part in a phone call with Germany's Olaf Scholz and France's Emmanuel Macron next hour. Canadian officials head to court today to try to break truck drivers' bridge blockade over the country's COVID restrictions and vaccine mandates. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
The consequences of these actions are having dire impacts. They're impacting trade. They're hurting jobs.
The deadline has arrived for New York City workers to get vaccinated against COVID. WCBS Radio's Mac Rosenberg.
95% of city workers have followed the rules, but for the few thousand who haven't, says
we are not firing them. People are quitting.
But 24 unions representing workers who haven't gotten the shot and have been on unpaid leave are suing the city.
Payback will be, well, a cockroach for X's in the UK. A zoo in Fairseat is raising money by inviting people to name Madagascar roaches after ex-partners. Operations manager Henry Whedon.
Had a particularly nasty breakup and need to pick me up. It's a good way to have a little giggle to yourself or with your friends.
Zoo supporters are also invited to name bugs after their least favorite politicians. The price, about $2 a bug. Dow up 46. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
For almost 20 years, Line-X has been the only place to go for quality spray-on. They also offer rust-proofing and undercoating.
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Line-X have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty, no yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Line-X is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information on their labels regarding accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 36 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Lynn Williams. Authorities in Canada are headed for court in an attempt to break the bridge blockade by truckers protesting the country's COVID-19 restrictions. The standoff has caused parts shortages that have rippled through the auto industry on both sides of the U.S.-Canadian border. The mayor of Windsor, Ontario, plans to seek an injunction at an afternoon hearing against members of the self-proclaimed Freedom Convoy, who have used scores of pickup trucks and big rigs to bottle up the Ambassador Bridge connecting the city to Detroit. The Saginaw County Sheriff's Office says it has been brought to their attention that a scammer is using information along with the Sheriff Department's phone number, as well as the Chief Circuit Judge, Darnell Jackson's name in the scam. The scammer is claiming Judge Jackson issued a and they need an amount of money in gift cards to avoid going to jail. The scammer is also requiring the victim to read off the numbers of the gift cards prior to mailing them. Under Sheriff Mike Gomez says at no time will the Saginaw County Sheriff's Office or the Court of Saginaw County request gift cards for payment. If you question the validity of a phone call, reach out to your local police agency, Sheriff's Office, or call 911. The Midland County affiliate of NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, is offering a free 8-week program. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Kicking off this March and April, the program is designed for families of adults with mental illness. NAMI Family to Family is taught by trained members who know what it's like to experience and live with a loved one's mental illness. The program will include presentations, discussion, and interactive exercises, all focusing on information about schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, major depression, and other mental health conditions. Family to Family will meet via Zoom on Tuesdays from 6:15 to 8:45 p.m. beginning on March 1st and ending on April 19th. To register, you can call 989-948-3273 or email NAMI, N-A-M-I, Midland, M-I, @gmail.com. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
W is 10:07.
Superior Insurance Group, formerly Northway Plum Insurance and Henris Wealth Solutions, bring you to the first annual Rat Pack Gala. We invite you Saturday, February 19th to get your tux and petticoats out for the classiest event of the year. You will enjoy cocktails, followed by a plated meal, dancing, and a show. Cash bar and dinner are from 5 until 7 p.m., followed by the big show from 7 until 10 p.m. During the big show, you will be transported back in time by a 17-piece orchestra and the Rat Pack. The event will be held at the Doubletree by Hilton. 48708. Tickets can be purchased by going online to theratpackgala.live. Individual tickets are $200 or $2,000 for a table of 10. The proceeds from the show will go to the Bay City Noon Rotary Charitable Foundation that focuses on youth and education in Bay County. Join us Saturday, February 19th for good food, great entertainment, and most important, a good cause. Visit theratpackgala.live for your
WSGW News Time is 10:08. Dow has declared a dividend of 70 cents per share, payable March 11th to shareholders of record on February 28th, 2022. This marks the 442nd consecutive dividend paid by the company or its affiliates since 1912. Congressman Dan Kildee is visiting the Alida Lutz VA Medical Center in Saginaw today to deliver Valentine's Day cards to local veterans.
The NFL Championship Sunday.
Congressman Kildee hosts a Valentine's for Veterans card drive each year, partnering with local area schools to thank Michigan veterans for their service and teach local youth about honoring the sacrifice. Due to the ongoing pandemic, Congressman Kildee will present the Children's Valentines to Saginaw VA Medical Center leaders instead of inside the VA facility. Following the presentation, Kildee and the Saginaw VA Medical Center leaders will make remarks at the Sergeant Major Kenneth Rice Activities Pavilion, which is named for a local veteran. Disability Network of Mid-Michigan is holding its 6th annual Feathers and Fedoras fundraiser Saturday at 5:30 at Horizons Conference Center. Proceeds benefit programs that promote independent living and skill-building programs for people with disabilities. Veronica and Ken Horn are serving as honorary chairs of the fundraiser, which is people from throughout the Great Lakes Bay region. Michigan State Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting in northern Michigan. The Sheboygan County Sheriff's Department says it happened when deputies were dispatched to a home in Ellis Township for a welfare check on a woman who texted her family that she was in fear of her life. Sheriff Dale Claremont explains what happened next.
When the deputies responded to the house, there was no response at the door. And because of the concern of the family member, the deputies then announced several times. They entered the door, and upon entering, they were immediately hit.
A male attacker struck a deputy in the neck with a hatchet before being fatally shot. The injured deputy is expected to make a full recovery. WSGW News Time is 10:10. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom, 752-0790. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered areas of rain and snow mixing at times here for today. Cloudy sky conditions and temperatures holding rather steady. Breezy southwest winds of 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. For tonight, we'll have a chance for rain and snow mixing, becoming all snow late. 7. By Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high of 16 degrees. Then by Sunday, mostly cloudy and a high around 17. Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 23. And for your Tuesday, sunshine, high of 26 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 36.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WS and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit Home Studio, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. Get Linda to go to work for you for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs by calling her at 989-295-7713 or stop in and visit her at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you'll also find Cafe 476. With its delicious soups and meals and all kinds of beverages waiting for you. As you know, if unless you've lived in a shell the last few days, truckers in Canada started a boycott and a blockade, if you will, in Ottawa that had to do with mask and vaccine mandates required by the Canadian federal government. And that has now spread to border crossings in the United States, including the busiest border crossing in the nation, and that is the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit, which, for all practical purposes right now, is shut down. And this is having impact on American factories. We're going to talk about that this morning, that and a few other things, with State Representative David Martin. He's the 48th District Representative in Genesee County. Serves on the Workforce, Trades, and Talent Committee, Commerce and Tourism Committee, Energy Committee, Military Vets and Homeland Security, and Natural Resources and Outdoor Recreation. And we say good morning to Representative Martin. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. First of all, as we look at this border crossing issue that's impacting particularly auto plants, realistically, is there anything we can do about it?
Absolutely, we can do something about it. Everybody wants the border open. Simply, the amount of people that are already vaccinated, like 90% of the Canadians, a large part, because we've been hammered into us over the last couple of years that this is what we have to do. This is what's going to solve the problem. So a lot of people stood up and did that. There's a few that want to exercise their rights and that they have legitimate reasons for not taking a vaccine, depending on what they believe views or even the science behind it, because they're told so many different things and they just haven't had it settled out over 20 years. But if we could just get rid of the vaccine mandate, the borders would be open. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that, except it's not. And the reason I say it's not is because we're talking about a Canadian mandate. The Canadian government's going to have to get rid of it, right?
That's correct. But we have the power to communicate to the Canadian government through our federal government, our local executive here who shares a border, a U.S. border, the state of Michigan state line is right against the U.S. border. We need to mandate is what's preventing the solution here. It's not the science. We drop like a rock on this latest spike. I mean, it's going down so fast that make your head spin. People are vaccinated. Why isn't the border open for easy travel? It makes no sense. And the people that are making this statement have every right to do so. They're not burning down Ottawa. They're not burning down Sarnia. They're not burning down Windsor. This is a legitimate question about our and the Canadian government living in ivory towers and seeing how it's affected and what their real concerns are.
Are we doing enough then as a state? Now, I know the governor has asked the Canadian federal government to end the blockade, but I don't recall her saying end the mandate.
That's correct. She has not called for that. She has actually offered the Windsor mayor heavy equipment to move the trucks out of the way using force, which is ridiculous. I would like to see how she expects, first of all, I get to have equipment over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
With the blockade.
That's my first thought.
I'd like to see who's going to operate that heavy equipment, because you want to see brotherhood unity. I'd like to see what would happen if you had an operator try to move a Teamsters union truck. They're going to stand there shaking hands and hugging rather than removing those vehicles. You'll see unity like you've never seen it before. She can call out the National Guard to do it. She has no plan. She has hammers and 2x4s in her toolbox. It's a management toolbox, not a leadership toolbox. And she just doesn't get things done that way.
So what's the next step? What do you see as the next step?
I think it's going to get to the point where if force comes out there, it would get ugly. They need to avoid that at all costs. They need to reevaluate and just come up with. I remember when they had thousands of students February on the Capitol lawn in Lansing, calling to allow students to play winter sports. Let them play movement. The next day, amazingly, the science changed, and the governor said, hey, the science has changed, and we're allowed to have winter sports now. So if we can get them to do the same thing, I don't care how they do it. I don't care how they message it, how they spin it. As long as they get rid of the vaccine mandate to open the border, and they can say whatever they want and advertise it however they want. Just get rid of it, and let's get commerce flowing again.
It sure doesn't seem like that message is getting to Trudeau.
Live in an ivory tower hiding beneath a desk, it seems like, from all the editorial cartoons. He needs to be out there. I mean, nobody's burning his town around him. This is not Portland. This is not Minneapolis. This is not people standing in a bridge, not allowing people, daring people to drive over it. This is a legitimate blockade, getting the attention of their government, their representative government. Their government's a little different than ours, their parliament and so forth, but it's still a representative government. They still believe in the voice of the people and their democracy, and they need to be heard.
I had a caller note here that says a 20-year trucker admits many American truckers would rather have the borders closed. I don't understand that, because they make money going across that border.
You know, there comes a time in everybody's life that you have to stand up for what you believe in, and it's difficult as it is. I think sometimes you're going to have to pledge your fortunes and your sacred honor to attain your goals, and this is what they're doing.
In terms of the truckers' protest, you don't have a problem with the truckers' protest.
I don't have a problem. They're not burning things down, and they need to
right.
get
No, I understand that.
Their government to listen to them, and I think it may be an extreme measure in a lot of ways. It does obviously hurt the person that wants to work in the factory, but there's a lot of people out there that are supporting, mothers at home that are schooling their children and got out of the workforce because of mandates and schools and so forth. And now they have a voice for people saying, hey, this is why I pulled my child out of school, because they're not listening to me about vaccine mandates. And now I have a voice nationally with this trucker blockade. So I think the common person, the middle-class person, is getting a voice and saying, I wear a mask, the curve is going to be over within 2 weeks. All these different things I've been hearing for 2 years hasn't worked. They're fed up with it.
So what do you tell American workers at plants that have been impacted by this, who aren't working right now?
They need to have a little solidarity with their other workers. I think people, they know that they fought, I don't know how many factory workers were appalled that they were going to have a mandate for any company that was 100 employees or more. And I'm sure they're happy, many are happy that was shot down by the courts, so that they don't have to worry about being segregated at work if they're vaccinated or not vaccinated, have a job or not have a job. So I think they would understand where it's coming from and what the truckers are doing over in Canada. And it's spreading here in the U.S. too. So it could affect our Super Bowl. California is easing their restrictions. Is it because of Super Bowl? They need lowering their restrictions. New York has just lowered their restrictions. So why isn't the border down? Why isn't the message getting all the way across? Just have our leaders point to those states that are lowering it, the provinces that have lowered their mandates, and say, since they're doing it, I guess we can lower the border and we can open things up. They can couch it any way they want, just make it happen.
But it's got to be the Canadians that do it.
Well, sure. I mean, but we stood up, the federal government, when the January 15th, when the Canadians put their mandate in, on the 21st of January, we put our mandate in. So, and then this goes back to October, when we were supposed to be opening the borders and allowing people with vaccinations to come across. But we did a tit for tat type thing, and it's like, why did we even do that? Why did we not have the courage? Well, I can probably tell you why, but why didn't we have the courage to say, we don't need our border shut down? The Omicron variant, we have vaccines, we have other things in place. Open the border. Our restaurants are open, our factories are open. Why can't the border be open?
There has been, it seems to me, particularly over this last year, a certain change in the way Lansing, particularly the governor, has handled the pandemic. Absolute mandates have gone out the window, and it's become more of a local control issue. Would you give her credit for that, at least realizing that she couldn't dictate anymore?
Well, when she came to that realization, that's a political decision, because she was always saying the science says we have to have lockdowns, the science says we have to have masks, the science. Then all of a sudden, it came around to election year, and she says, well, the courts have some cases, and I'll let the courts decide what it is before we do any more lockdowns. Is it the science? If it's the science, take leadership and say, the science says we have to do this, and let the court fall where they fall. No. A political decision, not a science or leadership position.
Can you hang on for one more segment?
Sure.
Okay, I want to take a break and come back. We're talking to Representative David Martin from Genesee County, and we will do more of that when we return here on the Art Lewis Show.
Public transit provides more than just a ride. It keeps our community connected. Public transit is a safe, reliable, affordable transportation option for everyone. We take your elderly neighbor to the doctor, your friends' children to school, and some of your favorite smiling faces to their jobs. Public transit is here to help you make your connection.
Sponsored by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters and Michigan Public Transit Association.
Ever have questions about your prescriptions, even in the middle of the night? Well, Walgreens now offers Pharmacy Chat 24/7, so you can ask an expert about things like the correct dosage of your medications. Or, speaking of side effects, the side effect of getting your questions answered at 2 a.m.? Sleeping much easier for the next 6 hours. Try Pharmacy Chat today or tonight, online or on the Walgreens app.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and
Getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks nudged higher at the open. Investors are looking at mixed earnings news from corporate America. Zillow shares are being helped by strength in its core real estate unit, though it's still losing money on its closed home flipping business. The impact was not as large as analysts were predicting. Mercedes-Benz reported an upbeat quarter and says it's seeing strong demand for its electric vehicles. Alphabet, Google's parent company, is facing a new challenge. The European Publishers Council has accused Google of antitrust violations for the way it operates its digital advertising. Has entered into agreements with Morgan Stanley and Wells Fargo to help it to buy back stock. And Under Armour is warning that higher transportation costs will cut into its profit. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold, word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SDSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking to State Representative David Martin, a Republican from Genesee County. David, let me ask, get off the trucker thing for a moment here. The governor has put forth her budget proposals. And taking a look at it, what do you like? What don't you like?
Well, if we stick to one-time large expenditures with the federal money and our probably one-time large sales tax from people staying at home and ordering things and buying things with their federal tax money, we can solve a lot of things one time. Let's get that. Let's not create a bureaucracy. Let's not create a new department that's going to, we're not going to have these revenues year after year. So if we focus on that, which some of her programs do, that'll be fine. Her wish list is like any wish list when somebody starts a negotiation, and she's spending money like she won the lotto. We'll have to see through negotiations where that becomes a priority. But we have hers on the table now, and now we'll start negotiation and get ours out there.
Is it realistic to think, given the nature of politics in Lansing, that you can actually get a budget done by, say, spring, like it was for quite a long time under Snyder?
Well, it's an election year, so people are going to want to be leaving and getting in their districts. So they're going to want and have that in their portfolio when they're talking to their constituents. I also think that that last year she did not talk very much to my first year there, and I'm hearing all the time that they haven't heard from the management team in days, and we're really frustrated. So we need to get it so we get ours done. You know, the school districts have their calendar. They want this information. The Senate needs it so they can finish up also on time. There's no reason it can't be done. It just has to be people in the same room at the same time.
And is your sense that it's going to happen that way?
It's an election year. You don't want bad news out there that you're being you want to be bipartisan. You want to be working with other people. You want to get things done. You want it on the finished so that you can campaign on it. So yeah, I would think that the emphasis would be to get it done so you can talk about it and have a real issue rather than be standing out there and having to defend why you're not doing something, why you haven't worked across the aisle, why you're not accomplishing things. You want to get it done.
I want to ask you one other thing here, Representative, about term limits. There's been a lot of discussion over the years about changing the term limits, and some people want to get rid of them altogether. Others say, well, we ought to have at least 12 and 12 in the House and the Senate. You have a feeling on it?
An extended one, and I'm not saying this because that's where I'm at right now, because if we did any changes, it wouldn't affect me because we'd have to be grandfathered into what we are, I would think. But my feeling as a citizen, a voter, I would want somebody that's competent in there as long as possible. Vote them out if they're not. But you just make relationships with consultants because you need the consultants because I'm only going to be there for 6 years. I need to get information and some legacy information, and so you have to have consultants. The staffers don't stick with one person because they're going to be changing all the time. They don't have anybody to stick their a rising star to, hook their career to. So there's a lot of issues why, and the third year that the third term you're there, who's talking to you because you're out. They need to be talking to somebody else that's going to be there a while. You're not as effective. And our Speaker of the House is going to be in their third term. And it's like, you're kidding. You all you have is 4 years experience, and they're making the Speaker of the House, and you think they're going to have the same voice as the governor. There needs to be something done so that there's more power for the but it'll also make sure there's a change and people don't get stuck with somebody they don't want.
All right, fair enough. Listen, David, it's been a pleasure chatting with you this morning. We appreciate your time. We'll have to do it again down the road.
Sure. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Representative David Martin from the 48th District down in Genesee County, a Republican in the State House. We thank him for joining us. Talked quite a bit about the truck blockade and his thoughts on that. It would be nice, obviously, if Trudeau would come to his senses and say, okay, we're going to get rid of the mandates. I'm not hopeful right now. I have to tell you that. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know who the Canadian government is negotiating with the truckers, if they're negotiating at all. So you really don't know what's happening. But I have a sense that this could get ugly before it gets better. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But they've been making a lot of noise in Canada about bringing in the troops and about policing and forcing the breakup of the protest. And I hope they just sit down and talk it out rather than fight it out. That wouldn't be good for anybody. No one at all. All right, for the remainder of the hour up to 11 o'clock, we will have open phones. So if there's something you want to chat about, Saginaw, all over the place. 989-752-6111. That's the number. 989-752-6111. That will put you in touch with me, and we would love to talk to you. So give us a call, and we will converse. First, though, we'll do this.
What's up, Spirit Nation? With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano. Well, the Saginaw Spirit returned to the win column on Sunday afternoon with a huge 5-1 victory over the Erie Otter. Coming in, Newhart across the Wokus, he scored! Wokus with one hand on his stick, putting it past the right pad of Nichols to put Saginaw back into a 3-goal lead. It's 4-1. Spirit continue their home schedule on Wednesday night when they face the London Knights at the Dow Event Center. Puck drop is set for 7:05. The Spirit hit the road Thursday to take on division rival Windsor. That game on WSGW. The Spirit wrap up the week with Talk Today, Hope for Tomorrow, and our mental health awareness game on Saturday night against the Guelph Storm. Puck drop is set for 7:05. For tickets and more information, log on to SaginawSpirit.com or visit us at our new store at 6321 State Street in Saginaw Township. For this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen.com.
Elise and Carl needed a small business loan fast to order more equipment for their bakery. Elise suggested OnDeck.com, but instead, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Wait, no. Look out!
Bad Falcon, healed! Lone Falcon, why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to apply in minutes and, if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. With lines of credit up to $100,000, $250,000, OnDeck lets you choose the loan that's right for your business. As America's largest online small business lender, OnDeck has funded over $14 billion to businesses like yours, so you can borrow with confidence and get your loan fast. Go to OnDeck.com. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah chartered industrial bank, member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeart.
Martley Van Camp and Robin Show.
It's the Friday Five, a tip of the trucker cap to our friends up north. We'll be driving in the 18-wheelers tomorrow.
Martley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
You are in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back. It's the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW, and Al is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for the invitation into the conversation. I have something that would help bring a little levity or a little humor to the conversation, sir.
All right.
I think if they were able to go into Pierre Trudeau's home and leave him with one roll of toilet paper, a gallon of milk, and a box of saltine crackers, I think the trucker problem would be solved within days.
It's not Pierre, it's Justin.
Okay.
Pierre's long gone. That was dead. So,
I get the Trudeaus mixed up.
yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Trudeau is Trudeau. I hear what you're saying.
Okay. But I think if they left him with one roll of toilet paper, a gallon of milk and a gallon of milk and a box of saltine crackers, I think the trucker problem would be solved very quickly.
Yeah.
As soon as he's down to half a roll of toilet paper,
that would do it.
That would do it. That would do it.
All right. Clever.
A little humor.
All right, Al.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Have a nice
Have a
weekend.
good one. Bye-bye now. Let's talk to Chris in Oscoda. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. I'm talking to you from the seat and the steering wheel here. I'm a big rig.
All right. So I want to hear from a trucker.
Listen close. There you go. I have some points to make. Me and a line of truckers were waiting on a train to be fixed in a plant. And this week I actually topped my tanks at 120 gallons, $500. And that's not out of my pocket. That's out of my company's.
Right.
And I've seen rates falling from lumber, steel, and everything. This is my living. And, I do run a Dakota, but I do this for what I like doing. But the problem is we've got a governor. Well, I say we wish we had a governor who would stand up to Mr. Biden, the resident of the White House, and say, look, my state can't be paying high fuel costs. People are, the drivers are, it's crazy. And to think she's going to get anybody to, I don't know who she's going to initiate to go help move trucks. But I can tell you this, we can block off Lansing real fast if we want to.
No doubt about
that. Block that. We can lock that city down in a big hurry and block her residents in.
Yeah, wouldn't take all that many trucks either. Wouldn't take all that many trucks.
Absolutely not. And I'm thinking this ungrateful lady. Does she? It's like she's in the middle of a crowd that's cheering for a team, and she's cheering for the other one, trying to be as loud as she can.
Yeah.
And they're all, slightly unhappy.
Let me ask you a question, if I may.
Sure.
It's well known that there's a huge shortage of truck drivers. It's been
absolutely.
estimated at about 80,000 now. What do we do to convince people that trucking is a good occupation?
Well, I can tell you this. Okay, my job, I actually, during the COVID, I quit driving and came back to the same company. They'll take, they'll hire you on. You drive, like with me, I drive, I can pick my loads. I can tell them no. I can tell them I'm going to work 3 days. I'm going to take some time off. They're very flexible.
That's good.
and the pay is pretty good. Now, every once in a while, you'll see shipping companies trying to take advantage of it. Like this past week, they had originally offered a load to this truck and my company for $2,000. But what it was they put it out there on the load board, and then they got a bunch of truck drivers looking at it, and they took it off, and it came back at $1,500 for the same amount of miles.
They saw that much interest.
What it is, and there's a conflict in our trucking world. There are other companies, countries coming in, and they're grabbing all these underpaying loads that aren't paying, and a lot of the other drivers, I'm a company driver, but they still offer me really good loads.
Yeah.
And it's these guys are undercutting the old school drivers who have been out there forever and own their trucks. And those of us who are trying to make a living, it's getting kind of merciless. But, the governor, she doesn't know. And the thing is, the Ohio governor and the Indiana governor may turn around and say, look, Gretchen Whitmer, you're gonna pick a fight with the truckers, and it's not gonna fare well with you at all.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know how difficult life on the road can be, and it's not an easy occupation, but it can be rewarding, and it has a lot of freedom that goes with it.
The sights and sounds, and you get to see stuff. You don't always get to go through it. I run regional now, but I used to run over the road, and but there, like 2 weeks ago, I was down at the Louisville, and it was 61, green grass, blue skies, and up here it was miserable 15 below, and I'm like, whew, boy, that was a break, a vacation.
That's when it pays.
I'll lay out and get a suntan. But anyway, you get to see you get to see stuff. You get to see the world, and it's interesting.
Well, Chris, I appreciate your insight, and drive carefully, keep it straight. 10-4, good buddy.
Keep it. Here we go. Keep it the cleaner side up. I'll give you the horn one more time.
All right.
See you later, man. All right.
Take care, Chris. Bye-bye. A trucker on the road this morning. We appreciate that. Thanks for calling. Russ in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Morning, Art. Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I'm surprised at the weaponization of the CIA. I mean, we first saw it with the FBI, and now we've got the CIA spying on Americans in America.
Where'd you hear that?
Well, it was on WSTW this morning. I mean, it's all over the news. There was Congress people that caught them, and they're like, "Hey, what the hell?" And it's crazy. It's people got to wake up. We're going to completely lose it, and it can be gone in a heartbeat. It can be gone so quick, people won't even see it coming if they're not looking.
Well, assuming that it's actually happening, that the CIA technically is spying on Americans, somebody needs to be held accountable, period.
And don't hold your breath waiting for that. They're never held accountable. Were the FBI agents held accountable for presenting false evidence to the FISA court? Not one of them. No one's ever held accountable.
Apparently, CIA has collected data on Americans. I don't know what it is yet, but it was reported on Fox, NBC, and CBS.
Yeah, it was all over the news.
Yep. And they've done it in bulk.
And it's BS. And people need to be going to prison, and they won't be.
Yeah.
It's becoming the government of the government, by the government, and for the government. And
Well, we the people can change that. That's up to us. It's up to us.
Yeah, it sure is.
And the midterms is the first place.
But they got to wake up and realize what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Most of them are too busy with Netflix and you know.
No, don't do that. Don't say most of
Anyway.
them. Most of them aren't. Half are, half aren't. You know, and it's the way we've become. It's just if this is true and if it can be proven, then somebody should be held accountable.
I would hope they would be, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Me
waiting
either.
For it.
Me either. All right.
You know, they never are. It's been years since anyone's been held accountable in our federal government. They can do whatever the hell they.
All right, Russ.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now. All right, we'll take a break, come back with more. It's the Art Lewis Show.
What you can't get anywhere else, get it at the Maytag store.
Loads of savings is waiting for you. The Maytag store is having a laundry sale now through Saturday. The Maytag store has washers and dryers in stock and ready to available on laundry appliances from Amana and Whirlpool. Unbelievably low prices after rebate that you won't find anywhere else. Get an Amana laundry pair as low as $849 and a Maytag washer and dryer starting at $1,079. Find these great deals in Saginaw on Tittabawassee Road or in Frankenmuth on Main Street. Service doesn't stop. Maytag store could deliver and install your new appliances, and they have their own in-house parts and service team. Visit your locally owned Maytag store on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw or on Main Street in Frankenmuth and the outlet on Gratiot Road in Shields. Stop by and experience the Maytag store difference today.
What you can't get anywhere else.
It's been a challenging year. Asking for assistance isn't always easy.
Thank you for calling the Assistance Center. How can I help you?
Hi, I just got my most recent energy bill, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to have a really challenging year. And I was just wondering if there's any help available.
If you need help with energy and other bills, call 211 or go to mi211.org.
Michigan conservation officers enforce laws that protect our state's natural resources. They're committed to finding people who are passionate about educating Michigan's beautiful and historic places. If you enjoy being outside and working with your community, consider a career as a Michigan conservation officer. Recruits will learn everything they need to be successful in a paid training academy. Learn more at michigan.gov/conservation officers. Sponsored by Michigan DNR and MA.
Great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll about online gaming in Michigan. In January, the Michigan Gaming Control Board released information that shows the state did generate 1.4 online gaming for 2021, the first year this type of gaming was allowed. That covers the internet, casinos, poker, sports betting. In fact, Michigan was the first state to achieve revenue of at least $1 billion in its first year of offering online gaming. Over $200 million was paid in taxes and fees to the state. Poll question is, what is your experience with online gaming in Michigan? Do you play on a regular basis? Do you play every so often? Have you never played and don't intend to? Your online gaming experience. We want to know. When you vote in the WSW online poll box, go to the homepage of WSW.com, scroll down, and you'll find the poll box there. And thank you for making your vote.
I guess I'd have to say I'm on there a lot since I bet 50 cents here, 50 cents there, $1 there.
Does that count as playing?
The Morning Team. 9 on WSGW. Mi gente on air.
Gideon Boxing Club is making an impact in Old Town Saginaw. They're bettering the lives of young people and making a difference. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and we talk with Joe Mendez and Marissa Cardinale about how this people are stepping up to the plate. Join us.
Mi Gente on Air, Sunday evenings at 8 on WSGW and online WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you. I did look up the stories on that, and it's interesting. 2 Democratic senators were the ones that sent the letter to the CIA requesting more information on this data collection program, which apparently operates under an old executive order signed in 1981 by Ronald Reagan, believe it or not. All right, let's go back to our phones. Greg is in Gladwin. Greg, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good. You think it's time to bring the railroad back to the United States? Going to every city?
Personally, I do, but realistically, probably not going to happen. I'm a believer in rail transit, rail transportation, but I don't see it happening. I see possibly corridors improving and getting better service, but I don't see it coming back as the mainstream method of transportation in this country like it is in Europe and other places. That'd be my guess.
Well, I just think we could move on trains.
Move a lot of what? Sorry? What'd you say?
Your food, anything. You can move
Yeah.
everything a lot faster
Well,
than trains.
those tracks are already in place. I mean, freight tracks are already there, and you can move a lot more and more economically and more efficiently, less carbon footprint, all those good things on trains. You need a good combination of trains and trucks. Trucks to bring the material to the train to take it the long distance, the truck to pick it up and deliver it locally. And, somehow in this country, we've diminished the role of the rails, and I don't think we should.
No, I think they should bring it back and go to every town, every little town, big town, and just have all the business have it their own truck, go right to the station and pick up their stuff.
Well, you're always going to have a need for truckers and over the road truckers. I don't have a problem with that. I just think trains need to be a good part of the mix, and particularly on long haul stuff. So,
Yeah, well, I just think we could move a lot more and faster.
yeah, well, certainly some of it, no doubt about it. All right. Good enough, Greg. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. And Demore is in Saginaw. Demore, good morning.
Hey, Art, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Just one thing here, talking about change of the times. A couple of nights ago, I was putting together a framed collage of baseball.
Okay.
African American players, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, all those guys. And on the 1948 Satchel Paige baseball card, he played for the Cleveland Indians for 1 year. When you flip it over, there's an ad on there for Remington Bullets.
What? No kidding. That's interesting. I don't remember those ads. I wish I had the playing cards I had in the 50s. Oh,
I'm sure them away, but the ones that hit in my underwear drawer, I still have most of them.
Oh, do you really? Well, you know what we used to do with them? I mean, we would take them and put them in our bicycle spokes so they made noise. And we'd flip them and get rid of them, and it was. Oh, I remember some of those. But Satchel Paige on the back was Remington Bullets, huh?
Yeah, for 38 caliber smokeless, 38 caliber Remington Bullets on the back of it.
No kidding.
But talking about this trucking thing, when they deregulated the truck, Reagan or something, or what year is that? 86 or something, or that was kind of the kibosh to the train industry right there.
Yeah, it's we need to have a good mix in this country. We need to have, and rail is still important. Don't get me wrong, but it's diminished from what it used to be. No doubt about it.
Oh yeah,
no doubt about it.
Did you ever drive through Lansing?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever go down by Delta Township where they're loading all the brand new cars on the freight trains?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
It's
that.
amazing to watch those guys, man. There's hundreds of cars, not automobile cars, but train cars.
Train
being
cars.
loaded
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Yep. Just amazing.
That's how they move the cars across the country. All right. Good enough. Tomorrow I got to run. Thanks. Bye-bye now. And we will take our last break and be back with more to close out here on the Art Lewis Show.
Are you a farmer or rancher in the U.S. interested in a new revenue stream that is guaranteed for 10 years? Agoro Carbon Alliance's national team of carbon farming experts can show you how by implementing simple practice changes like no-till, cover cropping, and grazing management. Contact your local on-the-ground Agoro Carbon agronomist by visiting agorocarbonalliance.com. Agoro Carbon Alliance offers farmers and ranchers across the U.S. a new revenue stream guaranteed for 10 years with upfront payments for simple practice changes like implementing no-till, cover crops, and grazing management, providing local on-the-ground agronomic support backed by a national team of carbon farming experts. Start your carbon cropping journey today at agorocarbonalliance.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. What would you say if we could give you a $20 meal at Sullivan's Food and Spirits for only Well, you're in luck because that is exactly what we are doing. A $20 certificate for only $10 to Sullivan's Food and Spirits. It's located on Gratiot in Saginaw, and you can snag your deal right now at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Your Saginaw Spirit are back in action this weekend at the Dow. Puck drop Saturday night at 7:05 as the Spirit take on the Gulf Storm for exciting OHL action. It's also Talk Today, Hope for Tomorrow night with a focus on mental health awareness. There will be mental health experts and organizations set up before the game in the Red Room. The Saginaw Spirit and the Guelphs. Available, call 989-497-7747 or go to SaginawSpirit.com. Game on.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the whoops. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The W Team Show.
Art Lewis, did you do any pay-per-view event this weekend?
No.
Oh, then you didn't do this. Okay. Dave, Pat, you didn't.
Never. No.
So you weren't paying to see the first ever PFC event.
PFC event.
The Pillow Fight Championship.
Oh.
For the first time ever, Steve Williams, who is the man that had a dream of turning childhood horseplay into a professional combat sport. I kid you not. There was both women's divisions and men's divisions.
Well, it's a real workout, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is. No, it is. I remember having pillow fights in gym class. I bet you can't even do pillow fights in grade school anymore.
Can't do dodgeball. Can you do
Yeah,
pillow fights?
probably not.
Again, probably got lost with the foot.
I was watching.
You better watch out. Some pillow fighter's going to come up and teach you a lesson.
Where I'm from, if we had pillow fights, we'd probably put rocks in the pillows.
You New Yorkers.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
And that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We'll be back with Focus. We'll talk to Chris Harrington from the Saginaw County Health Department. All of that is ahead.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Under fire in Phoenix. 5 police officers wounded this morning in a barrage of bullets, some as they tried to take a baby to safety from a house that was under siege.
As one of our officers approached help, a suspect opened fire, striking him multiple times.
Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams says it was senseless.
I'm thankful that our 4 officers are recovering, and one of them is seriously hurt but is on the road to recovery.
A woman in the house was critically injured. Police say the situation but it's not clear what happened to the shooter. President Biden is set to take executive action to free up billions in frozen assets. White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
Basically, Afghanistan put $7 billion of its assets in the Federal Reserve of New York before the government collapsed last summer. The Taliban has laid claim to the money. Says not so fast. And using his emergency powers today, the president essentially splits the money in half.
Half will go to humanitarian efforts in Afghanistan, the rest to 9/11 victims in the U.S. In Australia, Secretary of State Blinken says the drawdown continues at the American embassy in Ukraine as concern remains high about a possible Russian invasion.
We've also been very clear that any American citizens who remain in Ukraine should leave now.
New moves to try to put the brakes on the protest that's crippled major border crossings from Canada into the U.S. CBS's Chris Van Cleet.
Canadian leaders from Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister, down have started to call these blockades illegal actions. The community of Windsor, just across the river here, they're seeking an injunction to force the blockade protesters to move and clear the bridge. We also know that Canadian police, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and provincial police are massed if they're needed.
At the Winter Games in Beijing, a headline the International Olympic Committee was hoping to avoid.
It's the first major drug scandal here. Russia's 15-year-old superstar skater Kamila Valieva tested positive in December, but it was revealed only this week. Now the question, should she be allowed to compete next week in the women's The Russians say she should while the investigation goes on. The IOC wants her out. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the Winter Olympics in Beijing.
Skier Michaela Schifrin and veteran snowboarder Shaun White competed in their events today but did not medal. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 149 points. Nasdaq is down 26. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Your career takes flight when you join the at Soaring Eagle and Saginaw Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment destinations in Michigan are currently hiring for a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. At Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save at RocketGrabPlus.com? You can check out our deals going on right now from Nom Nom Ninja, 120 Fitness, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? You bet. That's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. Other companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
3065. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. Several fire crews responded to a fire in Bridgeport around 8:30 last night. The fire was at the former Bridgeport Schools Administration Building at 387 Sherman. No one was injured in the fire, according to Bridgeport Fire Department. Investigators say it started in the basement at the front end of the building. The cause is under investigation. One person was inside when the fire started but was able to get out safely. Canadian officials are contemplating their next step as both bridge remain closed due to another day of protests. Here's more from Charlie Langton at the Michigan News Network.
A lot of police here in Windsor this morning near the Ambassador Bridge. In fact, no vehicle is being allowed within about 3 blocks from the bridge, all anticipating a judge's decision on an injunction that could end the blockage of the Ambassador Bridge. Now, Governor Whitmer has pledged heavy equipment to remove the protesters if needed. Also, hearing that a state of emergency could be issued. We're also getting word now that there is a meeting in officials. There will be some kind of announcement that will pertain to the blockage here in the Ambassador Bridge. Now, protesters that I've talked to say that they are not going to leave voluntarily, and that could necessitate some kind of police action for what was already a very peaceful protest.
And that was Charlie Langton. State police say a northern Michigan sheriff's deputy fatally shot a man who attacked another deputy with a hatchet. Police say a Sheboygan County sheriff's deputy responding to a domestic disturbance at home in Ellis Township shot the 32-year-old suspect after he struck another deputy with the hatchet. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. His name hasn't been released. The deputy received non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to make a full recovery. Sheboygan County Sheriff Dale Claremont has issued a statement saying the deputies responded in accordance with departmental policy and training. WSTW News Time, 11:07.
How is your child doing in school this year? Do you feel they are not performing as well as they could? Did you know that this could be due to visual performance? At Associates in Eye Care, they help you determine if your child's vision is not performing as well as it could. They don't just give your child glasses. They evaluate the entire visual and ocular system to detect, treat, and prevent visual disorders and ocular diseases. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel, call 792-8686. Here, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSTW News Time is 11:08. Tired of paying so much for gas, U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow and other senators to suspend the federal gas tax, which is 18 cents a gallon from next year. This comes as gas prices in Michigan average $3.37 a gallon, the highest this year.
It's really important that suspending the federal gas tax pass as part of the solution. There's so many pieces of this that we have. We've also got to make sure that we are bringing all of our production back to the United States, and we're not dependent on other countries and businesses in other countries.
Stabenow has also announced that Michigan will receive $16 million from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act to build charging stations across the state this year, and for the next 5 years to help spur people to buy electric vehicles and reduce the reliance on gas-powered vehicles. It's tax season, and just like at the start of the pandemic, there could be some delays in getting your refund. But U.S. News and World Report personal finance editor Emma Kerr says there are some things you can do to make the process smoother.
You're really going to want to make sure that your return is accurate. It's going to cause delays if it's not. File early, file electronically, and make sure that that return is as accurate as possible.
Kerr says to also make sure the information is correct for the advanced child tax credit payment if you received it. You'll also want to pay close attention to how you enter any crypto assets if you have them. Heavy-duty construction equipment is popping up along the Detroit River at the site of the old Joe Louis Arena. According to Cranes Detroit, 100-foot caissons were being drilled as work is set. 24-story apartment tower. The developer is the Detroit-based Sterling Group, which in 2019 purchased the land from the city for just over $14 million. It intends to build an apartment tower called The Louis, featuring 500 studio and one-bedroom units. When you see news happening, call the WSTW Newsroom 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSTW weatherology forecast.
We'll see a few scattered areas of rain and snow mixing at times here for today. Cloudy sky conditions and temperatures holding rather steady. Breezy southwest winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting as high as 35. For tonight, we'll have a chance for rain and snow mixing, becoming all snow late, cloudy, and a low around 11. By Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high of 16 degrees. Then by high around 17. Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 23. And for your Tuesday, sunshine, high of 26 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 36.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus. I'm Art Lewis from my Saginaw Spirit Home Studio. Brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. Today, we're going to learn about a new app from the Saginaw County Health Department. We're going to find out what that's all about, and we do that with the health director of the health department. We say good morning to Chris Harrington. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for joining us. So let's start with an overview of what this new app is all about and why you thought you needed it.
Sure, absolutely. So our new application for COVID-19 positive case reporting, we launched earlier this week. It's called mysaginawhealth.org. That website might be a familiar one to folks. We actually started the mysaginawhealth.org website in early of 2021 to help with vaccine appointments. If we remember when vaccine was in very short supply and people had to make appointments, we utilized that to navigate that platform. So we no longer obviously need that. As we all know, vaccines are readily available in our community and anyone can pretty much just walk in to the various clinics or pharmacies. We've transitioned this mysaginawhealth.org over to COVID-19 case reporting. Because of our recent increase in Omicron and numbers continuing, resources remain tight at the health department, and we wanted to have a better way to reach people, more convenient than having to sit on the phone for like a 20-minute interview to collect some case information when someone does test COVID positive. So now they may get, if you're a Saginaw County resident and you do test positive for COVID-19, you may get a text message from us at the health department notifying you that we've learned that you've tested positive, and to org to fill out some information that we can collect from you in an online fashion to avoid that phone call, and then give proper resources for our community. So we still get lots of questions, even though we're 2 years into COVID, but when someone does test positive, they, quite often say, well, how long do I need to stay home for? And what information do I need? And this app can further provide that to them.
Chris, I have to ask, there was, if I remember right, I think there was a news story about this a while back, that people are more reluctant now to share contact information. Have you found that to be true?
Well, during the course of the pandemic, we found that people were reluctant just to even give us any information. So even when we do conduct those phone interviews, a lot of times people are just apprehensive. They think, why do you need to know this information? What is it for? Who am I really giving it to? To do was just send this weird link out to people, because I do think we'll probably all experience that, where we get sort of those spam text messages sometimes that look like, click this link here. That's why we wanted our folks to know this is a trusted site. You don't have to click the link in the text, although you can, but it's just mysaginawhealth.org. And so they could just type that in themselves, get to this landing page at any time, and fill out that information.
And is it live now?
It is live now, and we've launched it earlier this week, and we've started to send out those text messages to our residents when we learn that they're positive, and we've been getting a lot of great responses so far.
Have to ask, is the rate of positivity any less now?
It is. And according to the state of Michigan, seeing a 3-week decline. Saginaw County has also been seeing a 3-week decline in positivity. I looked this morning, and it looks like we're about 14% or so, which is about half of what we were a few weeks ago. So it is falling quite fast, although we're still seeing around 100. I would say on average, we're right around 100 cases still a day, and that's for Saginaw County residents.
Less fatalities and less serious illness?
Yeah, absolutely. Death rates have fallen dramatically. So even with that huge spike in Omicron that we've seen in December and early January, even here in Saginaw, deaths actually fell. So our case fatality rate was actually only 0.3%, even though we had over 10,000 cases reported. So good sign there. Definitely hospitalizations are coming down as well. So good sign there. So Omicron was less severe. Caused less hospitalizations and caused less deaths. So always a good thing.
All right, hang on. I've got to take a break. We're talking to Chris Harrington, the health officer for the Saginaw County Health Department. More ahead.
Hi, this is Jessica. And at United Financial Credit Union, we want to help you save money on your monthly payments. Right now, you can take advantage of our debt consolidation loan and combine those high rate loans into one low rate monthly payment. This year, focus on you. We're here to help you improve your financial health with our debt consolidation loans, free financial counseling, credit rebuilding options, and so much more. Call, click, or stop in to transfer your high-rate loans to our debt consolidation loan today. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. It's time for you to check out your local how we will put you first.
Some restrictions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now to earn cash back every time you code GEAR for 25 cents a gallon or more cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code GEAR to earn 25 cents a gallon or more on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
Diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the menu.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the Great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
This is the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And we're back with you on Focus as we continue our conversation with the health officer of Saginaw County, and she is Chris Harrington. Chris, have you heard any more about the potential for a fourth booster shot?
Yeah, I've heard some discussions. Obviously, our immunocompromised folks are able to. We know that if someone is, on some immunosuppressive therapies or they just have a really immunocompromised status, that their body isn't able to, produce that sort of boosted response to protect them. And so, continuing to look at data around that and offering additional doses, I think, of the COVID-19 vaccine. Outside of that and general boosters, there's been no approval at this point. And we do know, as we've seen, about 6 months after, completing that series, that immunity starts to wane, which is typical of a coronavirus type vaccine and not something that we didn't necessarily was unexpected. And so I think, as we continue to watch now with boosters and that level of immunity, we'll learn more and more about whether or not additional types, boosted vaccine doses, something similar to what we've seen with flu vaccine strains and others as we move through this pandemic.
How compromised is immunocompromised? I mean, what types of things qualify? For example, in this country, they estimate about a third of the population is type 2 diabetic. Is that an immunocompromised system?
Yeah, definitely can be. I think a lot of what we think about is folks that take specific drug therapies. So, definitely cancer patients and things where we know that it actually compromises their ability to fight off other things. And so there are various types of conditions. If anyone, wonders whether or not they feel like they may fit into that category, they should absolutely talk with their healthcare provider.
So let's talk about vaccines in Saginaw County. Has our rate still been steady?
It has been steady. We now are at 61% of our residents that are currently eligible to be vaccinated that have received at least one dose and are fully vaccinated, which means people that have completed that series is 56%. So still seeing it, slowly increase. There still are people out there that are deciding, yep, now's the time for me. I feel like I want to be vaccinated when they haven't been before. And then, of course, people getting their booster doses. And so on the booster side, we've administered about 52,000 booster doses since they first came out late last summer, which is about 52% of all had completed their vaccine series. So of all the folks that went through and did it, whether it was the 2 shots of Pfizer, Moderna, or the 1 shot of J&J, now being boosted. So 52% of them have gone out and got boosted, and about 70% of our 65 and older, which is great.
I remember about a year ago in January, I got a call to do a show on the vaccines because at the time when people were registering to get the vaccine, there was poor response from the minority communities. Has that improved?
Yeah, we have seen increases with our minority populations getting vaccinated, although definitely are very much under that of our white and Caucasians, even here in Saginaw. So, that vaccine hesitancy is real throughout the course of the last year, particularly around the COVID-19 vaccine, and that holds true for our minority populations as well. So we were at about 50%. This was probably a few weeks ago, these numbers, but 50% of our white population had at least one dose, and we were at, I think, 38 to 40% of our Black and African American.
All right. Well, let's leave everybody with the app address where they can find that app.
Yeah, absolutely. So mySaginawHealth.org is the location where folks can, if they've tested positive for COVID, they can go there and report their case information to us. Can also include putting in close contacts, which the app will send it to those close contacts as well, notifying them and providing resources on whether or not they should quarantine, and provide them some information as well.
Chris, always great to chat with you. We thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, Art. It's always good to talk as well. You could take care.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Thanks.
Chris Harrington, she is the health officer for Saginaw County. We thank you for joining us, and we'll take our last break.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature